Welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Ali Gohar. Tonight we're going to focus on Olympic Day, which is always celebrated on the 23rd of June. We'll discuss that and what it represents and what the Pakistan Olympic Association have been up to and the initiatives that they've undertaken. So there's a lot to discuss about this. Obviously, with Corona getting in the way as it has with everything, really, the Olympic Day was focused on engaging local communities to take part in a massive digital workout. So we'll be discussing all of this with a number of guests that we have online. We've been joined right now by Ada Jafri, the project coordinator of the POA. Ada Jafri, Assalamu Alaikum.
Ji, Assalamu Alaikum.
Right, we should also say that we'll be speaking to Asamul Haq later on and General Arif Hassan, who's the president of the Pakistani Olympic Association. But first off, Ada Jafri. Ada Jafri, tell us a little bit about, first, what Olympic Day represents.
Thank you so much, Ali, and once again, thank you to PTV World for having us on board. It's really great that, whenever we at NOC Pakistan are planning any particular special activity, PTV World is one of the channels that, is always there to project our initiatives. So, coming back to Olympic Day is the celebration of the Olympic movement, and it is celebrated, to cherish the festivity of Olympism and Olympic values across the world.
As I said before, Corona has gotten in the way, as it has done in every aspect of our lives, in every aspect of society. So the Olympic Association decided to engage people, communities into a massive online workout regime, which was was good to see. I mean, something needs to be done. Everything is online these days anyway, so it was a good initiative. What did you think about it?
Yes, so Ali, the thing is that despite the fact that the whole world is going through this pandemic and people have been locked down in their houses, be it America, England, any developed nation or the developing countries like us, but let me tell you that the spirit of the athletes, the spirit of the sports people, and the spirit of the local Olympic community and the global Olympic community has been really high. So starting from the International Olympic Committee, they managed this world's largest global workout on their Instagram handle, which has huge following, and we are really honored that one athlete from Pakistan was also present in that workout. Let me share with you that there were only 23 athletes. So because there are 206 National Olympic Committees across the globe, and only 23 athletes from these 206 countries were shortlisted to be part of this largest global workout, and the whole nation should celebrate this thing that Assam was one of them. And there were so many people watching him online on Tuesday when he went live on the Instagram handle of the Olympics. So it's a great moment, and apart from it, like last year we did a program, our whole Olympic Day last year 2019 was a huge celebration, and last year we integrated sports, culture and education. So this year, apart from this global workout of the IOC, similarly we have planned different initiatives on education and arts and craft and culture.
Yeah, I'd like to expound a little bit on that. What has the Pakistan Olympic Association been doing over the last couple of years? I'd like to know about the initiatives that you've taken. I know you've done a lot. You're also engaging people online, digital workshops, education. You're focused heavily on that. Could you elaborate further?
Yeah. So one thing that I really want to utilize this platform of yours to inform the general public that this year, particularly, I'll try focusing on this year because I think there's still room for people to engage to our activities. So this year, particularly, one sports activity was the Olympic digital workout that is done by Islam. Apart from it, in education, with a focus to create more awareness and to enhance the outreach of Olympism across the country, we have been contacting different schools and so far we have conducted 14 digital online workshops on Olympism, right? And we are lucky to have schools like Grammar School, Beacon House, and all these big names with us for these workshops. So the workshop has been divided into three sections. In the first section, we are focusing on a virtual storytelling session about the Olympic movement with kids, which they really enjoy, and so far the feedback is really, really great, which is, very satisfying for me. And in the second section of the digital workshop, we have planned a session, we are calling it Chat with the Champ. So, to make sure that our sports icons are celebrated by the younger generation, and they also recognize their efforts and achievements for Pakistan. We have arranged live sessions of students with the champions like Inam, Islamul Haq. We have taken Nargis. We are going to take Sadi on board, the karate champion. So the second section is Chat with the Champ, and in the third section we are discussing how youngsters can contribute, to the affairs of Pakistan Olympic Association through volunteering for our activities, by taking part in the summer internships and the winter internships. So despite the COVID and lockdown and everything, Alhamdulillah, our team has been working hard from home under, the leadership of our Secretary General Khalista, because he gives a lot of freedom to work, and we are really thankful to him for this thing. So these workshops have been going really well so far. There were workshops where we had 50, children participating, 60 children participating. So it's, really great. Now coming to the culture part, we have launched a painting competition on all of our social media handles. So any child who is 14 and above can go to our Facebook or Instagram, check out the details and start preparing their artwork. And they have time till the 23rd of July to submit that artwork. And the artwork, we have given 3 themes that are all about Olympism and, celebrating the sports icons of Pakistan.
Other Jafri, that's wonderful that the Pakistani Olympic Association is creating all these initiatives, and I'd like to discuss that with you further. But first, our PTV World production team has prepared a special package on Olympic Day. Let's listen in.
June 23rd.
We do social media channels every day.
Everybody is during lockdown. Join us for Olympic Day.
We're all one team. International Olympic Day.
Happy Olympic Day. All week we're showcasing how you can stay active.
Show us fun challenges and workouts that you can do at home.
It was in 1947, during the 41st session of the International Olympic Committee in Stockholm, that Dr. Gruss, an International Olympic Committee member in Czechoslovakia, presented a report on World Olympic Day celebration, which would primarily be a day of promoting the Olympic idea. The first Olympic Day was celebrated on 23rd June 1948. On this occasion, Siegfried Edstrom, International Olympic Committee president at that time, conveyed a message to the young people of the world. Portugal, Greece, Austria, Canada, Switzerland, Great Britain, Uruguay, Venezuela and Belgium organized an Olympic Day in their respective countries. In the 1978 edition of the Olympic Charter, the International Olympic Committee recommended for the first time that all NOCs organize an Olympic Day to promote the Olympic movement. Over the last 20 years, Olympic Day has been associated with Olympic Day runs all over the world. From 45 participating NOCs in the first edition in 1987, the numbers have grown to more than 100 participating NOCs. World Health Organization and the International Olympic Committee work together to improve health through sport. On Olympic Day 2020, World Health Organization together with International Olympic Committee advocates for everyone to be active in their daily routines. Olympians, athletes and fans all over the globe will come together to be active in the world's largest 24-hour digital workout. World Health Organization recommends that adults aged 18 years to 64 years do at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity physical activity throughout the week, while children and adolescents aged 5 to 17 years do at least 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous intensity physical activity.
What Olympic Day represents. We still have Ada Jafri online. Ada, we were talking about what the POA is doing and the initiatives that you're undertaking. I'd just like to go a little bit further. You see, I mean, it's wonderful to see that you're encouraging young people especially to get involved, and you're not just encouraging them to take up sports. You just talked about a painting competition. you're investing time in the arts, in culture, and I think that's very, very positive. And I assume that you're looking to do this in the future as well.
Yeah, exactly, Ali. So first of all, thank you to your research team for making up such a wonderful package, and you guys have shown some of the amazing clips of the ancient Olympic history, and it's a great tool to raise awareness among general public. Ali, you see, Olympic movement is extremely diverse, and it has so many aspects. It does not talk about sports. It incorporates sports, it incorporates culture, it incorporates the celebration of, our traditional sports. So the Olympic movement is diverse, it's huge, and that's why we say that, Olympism is not just a movement, it's a philosophy. So, I mean, the strategic plan of Pakistan Olympic Association over the coming years is to enhance these opportunities, particularly for youth and for younger generations, so that the legacy of the Olympism in the country, can be celebrated by the upcoming younger ones.
We're going to leave it at that. Adar Jafri, it was a pleasure speaking to you. Right, we'll be back after a short break. When we come back, we'll be speaking to Pakistani tennis player Isam ul Haq, who took part in the largest online Olympic workout. Stay tuned. Welcome back. It's time now to speak to Pakistani tennis player Isam ul Haq, who took place in the largest Olympic online workout. Isam ul Haq, Assalamu alaikum. Isam ul Haq, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum ji.
Right. I'm glad we caught you, Isam ul Haq. You took part in the largest online Olympic workout. First, I'd like to congratulate you for all the work that you've been doing during this very difficult time for the underprivileged. You're doing fantastic work. The Olympic workout. Tell us a little bit about it. What was the experience like?
No, experience was really unbelievable. I had a great time doing the workout. I tried to practice it 4 or 5 times before the actual event, 23rd of June. I'm super thankful to Pakistan Olympic Association for choosing me among all the athletes in Pakistan. It was indeed an honor for me to be representing my country on this platform among so many world-class athletes and Olympians as well. And to be part of this campaign and this workout, I think the longest digital workout so far. Feel very proud that I was able to execute it also in the best way possible I could have done.
No, we were all watching, Isam. You're in pretty good shape, so you should be very proud. You were doing very, very well, and you were more than keeping up. So, Isam, tell us a little bit about how they approached you, the Pakistan Olympic Association. Tell us about the process.
Well, I just surprisingly got a phone call one day, I think 2 weeks before the actual event. And Pakistan Olympic Association, they basically asked me if I was available and if I would like to be part of this campaign. And for me, obviously, I didn't even think about it twice, and just told them, yes, I'll be available no matter which day, what time. And I'll be more than happy to represent my country on this Olympic platform. Unfortunately, I've not been able to participate in any Olympics so far, and it's one of my dreams. I was very close in participating in Beijing Olympics and the one in London as well, but unfortunately was not able to do so. So somehow to be linked with an Olympic platform and workout, I felt very proud to be part of it. And obviously, like I said, super thankful once again to the Pakistan Olympic Association that they thought of me because Alhamdulillah we have a lot of other world-class athletes in our country as well. They could have chosen anyone, and once they called me, I just said yes to them straight away and asked them what is that required from my end, and they sent me this workout session for 20 minutes, 25 minutes that each athlete has to perform. And ever since that day, I've been just practicing it pretty much every second day, and Alhamdulillah was able to execute it, I think, pretty well on the 23rd of June.
On a scale of 1 to 10, Assam, be truthful. How tough was it?
It's been alright. I think when I was practicing it, it was more easier. But while you're performing it live with an Olympic instructor also, and you're talking as well, normally when I'm doing my workouts, I like to stay quiet and keep my... I don't like to misuse my breath and stuff. Like, while talking to the instructor is not easy. And you know that pretty much the whole world is watching you as well, so you want to execute it in the best way possible. So there was a little bit of pressure, and I was sweating bullets. If you see the video, during the video also and afterwards as well. But overall, it was a great experience, and I'm glad that I was fit enough to execute it in the right way and was able to pursue all the exercises easily.
So just by your answer, I think you'd give it maybe a 6 to 7 out of 10. With tough,
yeah, 6 to 7. I've had harder workouts, so I'm glad it just lasted 25 minutes, so it's okay.
Samul Haq, what just the world that we're living in now? I mean, it's nobody would have expected this now, so it doesn't really come as a surprise that that this was something like this was initiated online, because that's the way the world is going now, and we need to get used to it. And it's great to see that you're involved, you're heavily involved in these initiatives, because that's the order of the day now, and we need to get used to it.
No, basically it's just a platform to motivate and inspire people all over the world, to be honest, to help them stay healthy, to motivate them to stay active, to motivate them to stay fit as well. I think that was the essence behind this Olympic workout as well, urging people and requesting people to get up and do some exercises. It's the need of the hour. I know there are very distressing times right now, very tough times. Not many people can go outside and do their exercises and activities properly. But we can do these small routines and workouts to stay active and stay fit, because we need to keep the body healthy as well, as much as the mind. And that's what we're trying to do, to make it a little bit fun and inspire and motivate people to get up and stay active, which is very, very important around, especially nowadays. And hopefully we've been able to accomplish that from this platform and from these workouts, and hopefully more and more people can learn from it also. And there are a lot of other ways also to stay active. But if you keep following, I'm urging all my followers on my social media platforms to do this workout every second day or third day, which would really help them stay motivated and stay happy also, and stay active as well.
I mean, you make a very good point. I mean, right now everybody is suffering in some way or the other. Some are luckier than others, of course. There's no doubt about that. But you're using your celebrity, your influence, to make a difference. And now home workouts, that's the order of the day. Nobody's really going to the gym anymore. So it's an excuse, I guess, for many just to sit at home and stay inert and not do anything. But you've encouraged people to get up and actually do these workouts, and it won't take very long. And at the end of the day, you'll feel better. It'll minimize your frustration, because we have no choice but to think positive. Because in a time like this, I mean, the mind can play tricks on you. So just doing a workout, watching someone like you, and you're a hero for so many, it'll inspire them to get moving.
I really hope so, that I've been able to do that, and that's what I've been trying to do as well. We have to use our platform, we have to use, I guess, our little bit of social status also to play our part and to motivate. I've always tried to be a door opener for Pakistanis anyway, when it comes to tennis as well, and encourage them to live a very healthy lifestyle also. There have been tough times. I've not been able to play tennis also for the past 3.5 months, but either I can sit at home and just feel sorry about myself, or I can get up and do something about it, and find other ways to keep myself motivated and inspired, and to have a rain check as well. And that's what I've been trying to do at home. I've been doing other workouts as well. I've got some weights which I use every day. And I've been engaging my family members also, my mother, my sister, my nephews, my wife, my sister-in-law, and helping them do workouts with me also on pretty much daily basis, just to help them stay active, just to help them stay fit, and just to do something together as a family, and help them smile as well and enjoy these workouts. And I think we all should definitely motivate each other, our family members, to get active and do some kind of physical activity, which is very, very important in these testing times as well. And healthy body carries a healthy mind, and especially nowadays, a lot of people are going into depression also and feeling stressed because they can't get out of their homes and they can't work properly. So these small workouts for 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, I think are very, very, very important for everyone. And one should keep pushing each other to do certain kinds of workouts, and it would definitely will build up a healthy culture also. And once this pandemic is over, I think you will see more and more healthy individuals on the street and in daily lives as well.
Just one final thought, Assam, before we go. You're not only a wonderful tennis player and a very good athlete, you also speak very well, and you're clearly a very sensitive man. I mean, this virus, the coronavirus and what's going on really touched you, which is why you've been working very hard to support the underprivileged. And I think you've done some tremendous work, and it's inspired a lot of other people to take up this cause. Is there anything you'd like to say about that?
Thanks for the kind words, mate, and for highlighting my work in the past few months. Basically, it's the need of the hour. That's what I've learned as a Muslim, as a Pakistani, as a human being. If we are in a position to help others, we should be doing that. I think it's our obligation. And that's what I've been trying to do, and I've done so far, trying to raise as many funds as possible, distribute ration bags among the poor, the needy, and the daily wagers. There are a lot of people that are suffering from hunger, as much as they're suffering from the virus as well. I took this initiative with RISK organization of distributing ration bags. Alhamdulillah, before Ramadan, we were able to distribute ration bags among 2,500 families. And then I initiated my Stars Against Hunger campaign, through which so far we have raised funds for 2,000 more families, and the distribution process is going on. And Allah, sorry?
Yeah, Assam, we're going to leave it at that. Thank you very much for speaking to us. You're doing fantastic work.
Very much.
We'll be back after a short break. When we come back, we'll have lots more. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Today we're celebrating Olympic Day, which is always celebrated on June the 23rd. That's what we're speaking about. Now we'll be talking to General Retired Arif Hassan, who's the President of the Pakistan Olympic Association. Sir, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam ji.
General Saab, first of all, congratulations for everything you've achieved, on everything that you and your team have achieved. I'd just like to ask you first briefly, what does Olympic Day mean to you? What does it represent?
The Olympic Day, basically, it was decided a long time back, 1948, that Olympics is something, the Olympism is something more than sports, and there's so much more to it, and that it should be celebrated every year, and the Olympic values, etc., all should be passed on to the youths. The background to this was that Kobatin, who's the founder of the modern Olympic Games, wanted to see what was it that develops the youth. So he went to England to study the system, and he came back and he discovered, after discovering that it was basically the youth and the school systems through which a child, if properly introduced to sports, actually is developed into a well-rounded personality, which they say is a harmonious sort of a development. And that is how the Olympic Day actually came into being, and every year it is celebrated to pass on the values of Olympism to the youth.
I mean, so from your answer, what I understand, it's more than just encouraging people to get into sports, physical activity. It's also about community building, involving the youth, encouraging them to pursue their talent. I mean that's the essence of what Olympic Day is and what the Pakistan Olympic Association has been doing. We spoke to Adar Jafri earlier on in the program about the initiatives that you're undertaking. Can you talk a little bit about what the Pakistan Olympic Association has been doing?
Actually, you heard Adar, he explained it quite well, and there's just so much more to it. Actually, the Olympic core values of Olympism need to be inculcated in everyone and passed on to. Basically, they are as excellence, respect, and friendship, which needs to be developed, promoted through the use of Olympism. And I must add over here that as far as even the United Nations is concerned, in this 2030 agenda, it has, in paragraph 37, added that sports is a major enabler which can be used for the development of sports. And the motto, therefore, of the Olympics is as is the faster, higher, and stronger. So that is all what this is all about, promoting the core values of Olympism, that is the excellence, respect, and friendship, and moving on from there, basically as far as the development of youth is concerned, and as you use the terminology, as far as the development of the community is concerned.
No, that's very true. I mean, community development, trying to encourage people to work on themselves physically and mentally. I think that's the core of Olympic Day. That's what it represents. Tell us a little bit about the South Asian Games and the preparations. I know Corona has hit. Well, it's hit everybody really. So things have come to a halt. But just talk a little bit about that, if you will.
As far as the South Asian Games is concerned, it's a regional two-year event, and now it is Pakistan's turn to host the Games. Unfortunately, because of this Corona, we've not really been able to get the people out into the field. But as you have seen and as has been explained to you already, I think Assam has also talked about it, is that we are trying to keep our athletes fit through the online programs. And in fact, it's a very, very positive thing that this could be used the whole year round, and athletes could be encouraged to keep themselves fit the whole year round. So we are basically keeping the athletes fit, and so that they are ready once we ask them to get into the field, at least physically they are up to it.
Now, we talked about what the Pakistani Olympic Association is doing and the initiatives that you've undertaken, and it's so important that schools across the country understand just how important physical education is. It's a certain amount of hours should be mandatory, and I know the Pakistani Olympic Association is wants schools to encourage their the children to get outside and take up a sport or some sort of physical activity. But what about the future, sir? Where do you see the Pakistani Olympic Association in the next few years? What sorts of projects and initiatives will you be looking to undertake? Final thought, and then we'll wrap up.
What we are trying to do is basically, as you said, that try to get our youth, the children, involved in sports, and to develop them in a harmonious manner, and introduce a certain number of hours, as you said, as far as the school curriculum is concerned for physical education. And along with that, they develop in them certain other values that, for example, I think Abbas has spoken to you about the Olympic value education programs. We are going to be passing those on to them and developing the values, all aspects of sustainable development programs, which even the UN is advocating. We are going to be passing on to our children, to our
Right.
athletes, and participating in a big way in it. And in 2 years' time, I hope that we will have a much better, in fact, a great response as far as the children are concerned.
We're going to leave it at that. Thank you very much for speaking to us. That's all we have time for. Keep watching Sports Extra on PTV World. See you next time.